What if the same enzyme that clears clots from your arteries could also help clear toxic proteins from your brain? I'm Dr. Fergal Armstrong, and today on MedHeads we're exploring some of the most exciting and yes, provocative research on Natokinase. Its potential to protect your brain from stroke and possibly even slow the progression of Alzheimer's disease. This is cutting-edge stuff, so let's dive in. Now, we've already established that Natokinase is a potent fibrinolytic agent. It breaks down clots. But here's where it gets interesting for brain health. Stroke is one of the leading causes of death and disability worldwide, and approximately 87% of strokes are ischemic, meaning they're caused by blockages cutting off the blood supply to parts of the brain. This is exactly the type of pathology where Natokinase's clot-busting abilities become relevant. A 2025 study published in Antioxidants and Redox Signaling demonstrated that Natokinase provided dose-dependent neuroprotection in rat models of cerebral ischemia. The researchers found that it reduced infarction volume, that's the area of the brain damage, and improved neurological symptoms and decreased both inflammatory cytokines and reactive oxygen species. Remarkably, research presented at the American Stroke Association showed that Natokinase improved relative cerebral blood flow and significantly reduced infarction volume compared to controls. In clinical pilot studies with human patients experiencing acute ischemic stroke, oral Natokinase administration helped prevent stroke progression. Now, here's where the research becomes truly fascinating, and I want to be clear, we're still largely in the preclinical phase here. Alzheimer's disease is characterized by the accumulation of amyloid-beta peptides that form plaques in the brain. These plaques are essentially protein aggregates that disrupt neuronal function and trigger inflammatory cascades leading to cell death. Research published in the Journal of Agricultural and Food Chemistry demonstrated something remarkable. Natokinase can degrade amyloid fibrils. In laboratory studies, the enzyme effectively broke down amyloid-beta 40, one of the major components of Alzheimer's plaques. A 2024 study in vivo showed that oral Natokinase administration in an Alzheimer's rat model increased free-form beta amyloid in cerebrospinal fluid, suggesting that the enzyme was actively liberating amyloid from plaques, while simultaneously reducing plaque accumulation in brain tissue. Brain imaging showed enhanced brain volume with fewer structural changes. Earlier animal research showed that Natokinase could decrease brain acetylcholinesterase activity, suppress inflammatory cytokines like IL-6 and the apoptotic factor FAS, and restore levels of brain-derived neurotrophic factor, BDNF, which is crucial for neuronal survival and plasticity. It also upregulated ADAM9 and ADAM10 genes, which are involved in non-amyloidogenic processing of the amyloid precursor protein. Here's a critical question you might be asking. How does an enzyme from fermented soybeans actually get into the brain to do any of this? The blood-brain barrier is notoriously selective. It's designed to keep things out. A 2025 review in Brain Research concluded that there's now sufficient preclinical evidence that Natokinase can alleviate blood-brain barrier dysfunction, reduce brain inflammation, and improve cognitive ability. The mechanism appears to be multifaceted. Natokinase's cardiovascular benefits, improved blood flow, reduced blood pressure, and an anti-inflammatory effect all contribute to maintaining blood-brain barrier integrity. Remember, many neurodegenerative diseases involve vascular dysfunction as part of their pathology. There's even research into PLGA nanoparticle delivery systems conjugated with neuronal targeting peptides to enhance Natokinase delivery directly to the brain, though that is still firmly in the experimental phase. I want to be appropriately cautious here. The Alzheimer's research is predominantly preclinical, animal models and laboratory studies. We don't yet have large-scale human trials demonstrating that Natokinase prevents or treats dementia. That research is needed, and it's coming. What we do know is that Natokinase has multi-target effects on the cardiovascular and cerebrovascular systems. We know that vascular health and brain health are intimately connected, and we know that stroke is a major risk factor for subsequent dementia. So if you're thinking about brain health as you age, and you should be, supporting your vascular system is part of that equation. A 12-month Bulgarian study showed that Natokinase supplementation was associated with cognitive improvement in men who had experienced stroke alongside blood pressure reduction. As always, if you're on anticoagulants, antiplatelet medications, or have a bleeding disorder, the same cautions apply. And if you have a family history of dementia and are considering Natokinase as part of a broader preventative strategy, that's a conversation worth having with your doctor. We've covered a lot of ground in this Natokinase series, from heart health to sinus relief to brain protection. What strikes me is how this single enzyme addresses multiple interconnected pathways: fibrinolysis, inflammation, blood pressure, vascular function. It's a reminder that the body doesn't operate in isolated systems, and neither should our approach to health. I'm Dr. Fergal Armstrong. Keep that brain sharp, and I'll see you next time on MedHeads.